What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Naked and Unashamed podcast. I'm Stacy Spencer.
And I'm Rhonda Spencer.
We are excited to be back with you. We hope y'all had a great holiday weekend celebrating Easter with your families. And we took a little pause, but we're back. We took a little pause and now we're back. And we're back because we want to talk about tonight, babe, what makes me a better lover than everybody in the universe?
Oh, my darling, let's recount the ways. Number one.
Stay right there.
Let's go.
We're getting ready to come right back. We're going to tell you the answer. I know you want to know, you little nose yourself. What makes her a better lover? What makes me a better lover? What makes you a better lover? Stay tuned. Naked and Unashamed is coming your way.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Just takes a little effort, we can work it out. These things go hand in hand, know what I'm talking about. Can we have one without the other, one without the other, yeah. One without the other, one without the other, yeah. We made it through the test, strengthening love and sex. We made it through the test, strengthening love and sex.
You know, I was reading a scripture the other day from Song of Songs. It's one of my favorite books in the Bible. It's an erotic literature that is about two lovers. And the woman is bragging about her male lover, her fiance. Mm-hmm. And this is what the women ask her because they tired of hearing her brag about her man. My man. This goes out to my man. So they ask her in Song of Songs, chapter 5, verse 9, why is your lover better than all others, O woman of rare beauty? What makes your lover so special that we must promise this? What are the things, babe, that, you know, in that instance, her girlfriends, they're hearing her talk about how good her man is to her and how he's so chiseled, he's handsome, and his kisses taste so sweet, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, okay, we get it. He's a good lover. But what makes him better than all the rest? And she begins to go through this laundry list of what makes her man a great lover. But let's make it personal for us.
Okay.
I want to go back and forth and talk to our viewers about specifically what makes us better lovers for each other, but what makes a person a good lover, period. Mm-hmm. So let's start with us first. What do you think makes me a good lover? And I'm going to go back to you.
Well, one, we have 31 years of marriage. And so during that time, we have gotten to know each other. So we've been students of each other and we know what pleases one another. So I don't have to guess to see, oh, is he going to like this? Unless we're introducing something new. So, I don't have to guess on, oh, I know this is in my bag of tricks. This is going to get him every time.
Right. I like the word know.
Right.
And in the Hebrew, the word know means to know intimately. Mm-hmm. I know you inside and out. You know me inside and out. And I hate it sometimes because what's wrong with you? Nothing. Yes, it is, because your nose is flaring up and you got your eyes twitching. And
there are other signs. I'm not going to tell you. So there are other signs.
She knows everything about me. I know everything about her, the way she moves, if we break pattern. But more than that, we know we have become students of each other through the years. And by being intimate, by talking with each other, spending time with each other, knowing each other's patterns, we know each other. And I think that's so important. I remember the movie Django. There's a scene where Samuel Jackson, who plays the little sellout slave, and Jamie Foxx plays Django. He's coming back for his wife who was captured, and they're trying to do a covert operation to rescue her away from the plantation. And Samuel Jackson is looking in, and he's noticing the body language between Django and the woman. And he comes back in the kitchen. He says, "These ninjas know each other." Mm-hmm. You thought I was going to say it?
I did.
These ninjas know each other, and he knew that based upon their interaction. But what's profound about that is when two people are married, when you're in covenant, you should
Absolutely.
know each other. And we do it all the time. We finish each other's sentences. We can read each other's body language. And I think that's part of being a good lover is, do you know your spouse? Do you know their proclivities? Do you know their patterns? Do you notice their nuances? Can you read them without them saying anything? That comes with time, but you got to be a good student. I think what makes you a good lover, babe, is that you know what pleases you, right? You've taken inventory of your own pleasure. You've done pleasure mapping, and just tell the women a little bit about how important it is to get in touch with their own bodies and what pleases them. Why is that important?
It's important because women need to know, well, and men, you need to know what pleases you before you can coach your spouse on what pleases you. Right. You don't want your spouse to constantly have this guessing game going on, like, oh, does she like for me to move this way? Or does she like for me to touch you this way? But if you already know that this particular touch feels good or this particular movement feels good, then you're able to continuously coach your spouse on it without there being any offense taken.
So how do you, in a practical sense, get to know what pleases yourself? How do you discover that as a woman?
Well, in a practical sense, then you have to know your own body. And one of the ways that you can do that, if you're not really in touch already with what sensations feel like on your skin, you can do something as easy as taking a feather, or doing some pleasure mapping where you're like, okay, well, this feels good to the touch here, or this doesn't feel so good to the touch, or you and your spouse can do it together. Have a simple exercise where you both have taken a bath or a shower and take some edible crayons, markers, whipped cream, whatever you fancy,
Yum, yum.
and then place it on areas, or you can have your spouse place these edible items on you. And it's like, okay, well, here is going to be a light touch. Here's a deeper touch. Here's a lick. Here's a bite. Do you like this? Do you like this pleasure? It's almost like when you go get a massage. You know how the massage therapist will ask you, how's the pressure? And then you coach and say, oh, that's good, or go deeper or lighten up. So knowing what pleases you, what your touches are, and then also getting in the mirror and finding out all the crevices of your body and looking at it and like looking at for yourself, like, okay, I'm standing in the mirror. Okay, I like the way my breasts feel. And plus you need to be touching your breasts monthly anyway to do your monthly exams, but that's a sidebar. But just also feeling on your own body and letting the pleasure that you feel and communicate that to your spouse.
That is so good. And one of the things you said is taking notice of sensations. And there is this theory of sensate therapy, sensing, getting back in touch with how you feel. And so many times when we rub on each other, we have an agenda of trying to arouse the other or to lead to sex. But with the sensate exercise, what you're trying to do is simply notice the texture, the feel, the softness, hardness of your partner's body. And so what I would recommend is going through about 5 steps. The first step is where you just lay in the bed, right? You lay in the bed and you do a body scan.
Right.
You notice, you sit there, you take a deep breath. After, I know you said go take a bath, clean up real good. That's highly recommended, especially when you're doing this with your spouse. So you go lay down, you lotion up, and then you just take a deep breath and begin to scan your body from your feet all the way up your legs, your genitals, your stomach, and notice what your breasts, your neck, your head, and notice what you feel in each area. Breathe into each area. Do you feel any pain? As we get older, we wake up with all kind of pain.
Oh my gosh.
I asked my wife, how you feeling today? And I start going through the laundry list, so she'll go through the laundry. How's your knee? How's your back? Begin to take inventory. How are your different body parts feeling, right? That's the first step. You're just noticing what you notice in your bodies. Do you have any areas that are hurting? Do you have any areas that need attention? The second part of the sensate exercise is where your spouse begins to touch you. They just begin to rub on your skin for about 15 minutes just to feel your skin. The touch is for them and for you, but it's not to lead to sex.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you become aroused, that's just a natural response. Just give yourself a break. But you're not touching genitals on this second part of this sensate exercise. You're not touching genitals. You're just touching legs. You may touch around. You're not touching the breast. You're touching around because you're just trying to feel the body, noticing if there's any places that are rough, any places that are smooth, any places that are tight. This is not a massage. This is about what? Touch.
Right.
Sensate. The third part of this is when the spouse will set up against, one spouse, the toucher, will set up with their back against pillows, and the receiver will sit in between the legs of the toucher.
Okay.
And you don't have any clothes on, and you're sitting in the bed or wherever you're comfortable, and I'm putting my arms around my wife and I'm touching her all over her body. I may not be able to reach her feet because I'm in a V formation. She's set between my legs with her back against my chest, and I'm rubbing her thighs, her legs. I'm gently letting my fingers, and she may do something called handwriting. So she will take her hand and put it on top of my hand and guide my hand where she wants me to take my touch, and she may stroke harder or she may guide my hand to go lighter. It's teaching me how she wants to be touched and where she wants to be touched, and I'm exploring all of her body. And there is allowed in this step 3, you can touch the genitals, not for the purposes of trying to arouse or to help to, or making them reach orgasm. You're just exploring how your spouse's body feels. Mm-hmm. And the spouse who's receiving is noticing the touch, and they're noticing what is pleasing, they're noticing what feels good, and they're making notes of it. The 4th step is when you add lotion, or like we love adding what, babe?
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil. It's hypoallergenic. It's natural. It tastes good. And so you add that to the mix. Make sure it's warm, though. Mm-hmm. Put that in your hand, and you rub all over your spouse's body with that oil. You play with all over the body, genitals, breasts. You may even add kissing, not kissing in the mouth, but using your lips as part of the sensate touch to see how that feels on your partner's body. And you take 15 minutes per person, and then you switch. The last part of this is sensual lovemaking. Mm-hmm. Sensual lovemaking, babe, is when you're making love, but you're not racing to orgasm.
Right.
You are enjoying the journey, right, the pleasure.
The orgasm isn't the goal.
No. It's about enjoying the journey. Right. How would you describe enjoying the journey doing sensual lovemaking?
Enjoying the journey, I would think it's more of being present, that you're totally present with what you're feeling. You're being present with all the sensories, the room, the ambiance of the room, the smell, the candles being lit, if there's music being played, and then how your husband is feeling toward you, the movement that he's making, the movement that you're making, your breathing, the yam, yub, yab, yub.
Yab yum.
Yab yum.
Yabba dabba doo, baby.
You know what I'm talking about. So, that breathing that's taking place between both of you.
Mm-hmm. They may not know what you're talking about.
Okay.
When you say yab yum is when I'm sitting on the floor. My wife is got her legs wrapped around my waist, and she's facing me. Her breast against my chest, and we're breathing. I'm breathing in as she's breathing out. We're taking in each other's energy, just becoming one. Going back to what we said at the beginning, great lovers know how to become one. Right. And in the yab yum position, you're literally becoming one because you're sharing each other's energy. Mm-hmm. So that sensual lovemaking is about exchanging energy. That's why you must be in a covenant relationship with your spouse, because watch this, you take on part of them. Mm-hmm. When you're making love, you are literally becoming one. You cannot walk away from a sexual encounter and not become one with that person. It's a spiritual, love making is a spiritual
Absolutely.
experience.
Absolutely.
I don't know why we get our panties in a wad when we talk about sexuality as if it's separate from spirituality. They're really one. I believe that God gave us an orgasm as a gift. You feel like you're in heaven. You feel like you're caught up in another dimension when you have a great orgasm because it's a spiritual experience. So here's another thing that what makes you a great lover, babe, is that you're open to new experiences. I love the fact that you're not locked into the missionary. He just be doing his business all day.
He's so silly.
I'm so glad that you are open to new experiences. How important is it for couples to bring new experiences into their marriage to keep it fresh?
No one wants roadkill. So you have to mix it up, and that's mixing up your positions, mixing up rooms in your home. When the kids are away or they're in the bed, try new positions.
Wait a minute, what's roadkill? What do you mean by roadkill?
Roadkill is when you're just, okay, if you've ever passed a dead animal in the road, they just, they unalive. So you don't want to be unalive in your love making.
What does unalive look like in the bedroom?
Just like it's.
So when the woman's just laying there,
right? You're just like you said, you're
with.
Not interested. You have this laundry list of things that you need to get done that you're more focused on in your head, as opposed to being present and moving, or even being actively moving when your spouse is moving. And that may be, still while you're connected, switching positions, where you're doing a different position. So just making sure that you're not always in the same vanilla missionary. Not saying there's anything wrong with the missionary position, but just mix it up.
The missionary position was emphasized by the Puritans because they believed that sexuality was just reserved for procreation, and any other position was demonic. Isn't that crazy?
That's really crazy.
It's so crazy because God didn't simply give us sex just for procreation, just to make babies.
No.
It's for recreation. It's for us to become one. It's for us to enjoy each other. Even the Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 7 says, do not deny one another your sexual needs. That it is so wrong to do that. But to your point, it's so important to be open to new experiences. Right. Don't be relegated to the bedroom. You have all these rooms in your house. You've got, the best kind of sex is vacation sex. That's why some of y'all need to get with us. We got one hotel room left for our Love in the Bluff marriage retreat. And I just believe that when you get away with your spouse, it's a whole nother experience. And I think you have to be intentional.
Absolutely.
About creating those opportunities where you get away, or if you do a staycation. If you do a staycation, the kids are gone for the weekend, granny's got them, and y'all got the house to yourselves. Why can't you make your house your playhouse? Go from room to room, couch, break in the dining room table, break in the washer and dryer. Be open. What else? Have you ever wanted to take your love life and marriage to another level?
Ladies, do you want to bring romance back to your relationship and get that old thing back?
We got you. It's time for our second annual Naked and Unashamed Marriage Conference called Love in the Bluff on June 7th through the 9th at the beautiful Hyatt Centric Hotel overlooking the mystic Mississippi River. We will be leading one of the most exciting and engaging marriage retreats you've ever experienced.
At Love in the Bluff, we will be teaching you and your spouse how to be building intimacy. We want to show you how to restore that erotic connection between you and your spouse.
L is for liberating fantasies. How do you ask your spouse for the love you've been dreaming about?
And the U is for unveiling communication. We want to teach you how to turn towards each other and not away from each other.
The F is for fueling desire. We want to teach you some tantalizing techniques to put fire back into your lovemaking.
And the other F is for fun and playfulness. We are going to have some interactive playtime to teach you how to enjoy each other and rediscover how to pleasure your spouse. All this will take place in the Bluff City at Hyatt Centric Hotel, where we have a block of 20 rooms.
There will be a rooftop party that Friday night, and we will be dancing the night away. And then when it's all over that night, we're going to send you back to your rooms for some playtime with the goodie bags that we're going to give you after registration.
Now, on that Saturday morning after breakfast, we will have our time of work and play as we go over new material to take your love making to higher heights.
On Saturday night, we will be attending one of the most amazing showcases of R&B talent in the Mid-South area. We've partnered with 901 Live, hosted by Dr. Derek and Darkest Pain. It's going to be amazing. Y'all know Rhythm and Blues started in Memphis.
Then on Sunday after checkout, we will have brunch at Sugar Grits. It's a time to take your love on top and meet us for Love in the Bluff. This retreat will sell out, and you can go secure your spot today by going to drstacyelspencer.com and register for Love in the Bluff.
We hope to see you and your spouse in Memphis for our 3-day Naked and Unashamed Marriage Retreat. We will see you on top.
I'm going to paddle on the word intentional. I think lovemaking, regardless whether it's a staycay or you're away, it has to be intentional. You don't, and the intentionality is to please your spouse and for you to get pleasure out of it. When you were talking, I kept thinking about the clitoris. The clitoris has no other function other than for pleasure. You can't do anything else with it. It's just for pleasure.
It has about 3 times as amount of nerve endings in the
penis.
As
the penis, exactly. And it's more than just the little bulb that's hiding. It's the entire that it stretches over the root system that goes down around the vagina. But at the same time, the intentionality to be present with your spouse, to enjoy it, and to make sure it's not something that's just something else to knock off your to-do list.
That's so important. So the question that we're asking tonight is, what makes your lover better than all the rest? And the thing that just popped up in my head is that comparison is the thief of joy. When the women are asking in this text, why is your lover better than all others? They're not asking the woman to compare her present lover with her body count. You should never compare your spouse to somebody you've been with previously. Hence the reason why you don't want to be so promiscuous, and you don't want to be addicted to pornography, because what you do is you bring those comparisons into the bedroom, and you start. I was talking to somebody the other day. This was so profound. I got to share. I'm not calling any names. I'm keeping you anonymous. But I was talking to a brother who is in his 60s, and he said for the longest time he kept trying to make his wife like all the women he had been with. And she felt it. She felt like, you're trying to make me something I'm not. And he's like, I've been with so many women. I had so many experiences. I was trying to make her into this. And I said, what you were doing, you were trying to make the Bride of Frankenstein.
Wow.
You had all these body parts in your mind from your past sexual experiences, and you were trying to take her breasts and her booty and her freakiness and her and you're trying to put all of that and make a monster. And if you're not careful, you end up making a monster, because you make your spouse into something they're not. But when you stop comparing your spouse with all your past experiences and just enjoy the person God has given you, what you will discover is that the freak you need is the freak you already have.
True.
You feel me?
Absolutely. And it's such an unfair comparison if you're comparing your spouse to the actors on TV via porn or with past lovers. It's such a unfair comparison, because they come with their own build up and baggage from what they've experienced in their lifetime. So it's not fair.
And again, to discover the fullness of who your spouse is. I have had the pleasure of being with my wife 30 plus years. And every year she keeps unfolding. And watch this, the safer she feels with me, the more she gives of me places I've never experienced before inside of her. Her mind, her heart, her soul, her fantasies, her desires, her pleasures. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that was in you. And she never ceases to amaze me, because the more she can trust me, the more she can know that she is safe, the more she feels like she can open up. That's what makes a great lover. Anything else you want to add to that, babe?
Oh, no, I think you unpacked that one pretty good.
Okay.
But I would say another thing that makes you a great lover is how you take care of your body. You know, so that's important.
What do I do with my body? How do I take care of my body?
You are in that gym like it's a second job, but we are on a mission, we're beyond middle age, but to keep a healthy lifestyle. You know, so many things come up as we age that we can actually help to control. So, you know, our cholesterol and blood pressure, by eating right, by exercising, that helps to keep those joints lubricated, because there's nothing worse than having sex and all of a sudden, oh, my knee, oh, my back, you know.
Has that ever happened to us?
It has. Keeping it honest.
Hey, look, I try to play it off like, ain't nothing wrong, keep going.
You get a catch somewhere, you're like, why am I getting a catch here? But it's important that you both, it's not just for the husband to stay in shape, it's also important for the wife to stay in shape as well, because I don't want us to not be equally or unequally in shape.
Unequally yoked.
Yeah.
We both want to stay fine together, and not just fine, but healthy.
Right.
Cardiovascular work is so important because it helps with your endurance. If your heart is not operating properly, you can't get blood to flow to your genitals. If blood doesn't flow to your genitals, it's going to impact your erection. It's going to impact the pleasure you have as a woman around your clitoral stimulation, or even blood getting to your breasts and your nipples getting gorged. All of that is relegated to being in good health. And so if you want to come off of medicine, you know, high blood pressure medicine, it messes with your erectile function. Also, sugar kills an erection. So you got to start eating right. When I say take care of my body too, babe, I'm talking about manicures,
Oh, yeah.
pedicures, massages. Men, you know, my wife tells me all the time when I'm rubbing her, I'm trying to be sexy, you know, rubbing my, and she, oh, you got a hangnail. And I'm like, oh. And it's like somebody bumping up against the DJ booth.
Take care of that.
I think I'm being sexy. And she's like, ooh, baby, let me see your nail. And so I try to go get my hands manicured, you know what I'm saying? And then I don't want my feet scratching up the sheets,
Right.
or pulling skin off her leg. So I go get my feet done.
Nor do I.
And then also massages are good because it helps you to de-stress. Many of y'all may have stressful jobs. And like my wife said, if your mind is stressed out, if your body's stressed out, you're not going to be erotically present.
Right.
So those are some of the things that make a good lover. And I feel like we need to take a pause. There's so much more we want to tell y'all. We want to come back with part 2 of this because we want to make sure that y'all are experiencing the optimum in your sex life, and you're the best lovers that you can be for one another. We want to stop and remind you before we end part 1 is, watch this. We got one hotel room left. We got 21 couples.
21.
We got 21 couples. Woo! That are coming to Love in the Bluff right here in Memphis, Tennessee. When are the dates?
The dates are June the 7th through the 9th.
June 7th through the 9th at the Hyatt Centric Hotel. We're having a rooftop party that Friday night. That Saturday morning, we're having 5 workshops on building intimacy, liberating your fantasies, unveiling communication, fueling desire, and
facilitating fun.
We're going to teach you how to do all of that. Bluff, Love in the Bluff. And we got couples coming from Ohio, couples coming from Mississippi, from Tennessee, all around the United States. They're converging in Memphis. And if you want to be a part, you have until April 15th. April 15th, do or die. That is the deadline.
Right.
So we've opened up just a little bit of space for you. So if you want to come, you must do so before April 15th.
Right.
And to do that, you go to drstacyelspencer.com, drstacyelspencer.com, and register. And babe, you want to tell them about Eden Circle?
Eden Circle is our continuity program where we have couples that are like-minded, that are wanting to stay married. But during this time, we do coaching and counseling for the couples. We do fun activities. We have podcasts because we are in a community of married couples that are striving to stay married and have fun and love each other in the process. So if that's something that you would be interested in getting involved in, go to theedencircle.com, theedencircle.com, and check us out.
Yes, ma'am. I love you, girl. Listen,
love you
we ain't done yet though. We got so much more to talk about, but I can't give you all at once because I want you to get overloaded. But do us a favor. If this podcast is helping you, don't be a secret lover. Some of y'all are secret lovers.
Yes.
Think, oh, I love your podcast. Me and my husband, we watch, but you don't comment, you don't like it, you don't share it. Are you ashamed of us? We're naked and unashamed, but don't be a secret lover. Do us a favor. If this has blessed you, leave a comment and then leave a like, and please share it with some other married couples because this thing is not easy, but it's easier when we do it together. We're better together. Listen, we love y'all. Let's stay tuned for part 2. And listen, if you have not done so already, like and subscribe to the Naked and Unashamed podcast, and we'll see you next week. Hey everybody, it's Spencer stopping by. We got some exciting news. Eden Circle is back open. That's right. We have a Inner Circle program that helps you to take your marriage to the next level through some personalized mentorship. There's 2 things that are needed in order for your marriage to make it. You need some great coaches. Rhonda and I have been married for 30 plus years, and we want to share with you some of our experiences. And then you need a community of people who are trying to stay married. Wouldn't it be great to share ideas and to build stories together with other couples who are trying to make it? Baby, tell them the benefits of being in our circle.
Some of the benefits of being in our circle is, like Stacy said, the mentorship, the counseling. We have master classes, quarterly meetups, and we have fun together. We teach different techniques because we believe in the sanctity of marriage, and we want to keep married people married.
And if you're going to be married, you might as well have fun doing it. We want to help you to show you how to have fun, how to take your lovemaking to the next level, your communication, and to help you in spots when you get stuck, to help you get out of those ruts by coaching and mentorship. So simply go to, listen, if you want to be a part of this circle, go to www.theedencircle.com and register today. We want you in our inner circle.